You know, Tyler, today there's a clown to the left of me.
And the Joker to the right.
I think you're the clown to the left of me, and I'm your Joker to the right. Something like that.
Well, here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah, just me and you again.
Yep.
So this is Classic Vinyl Podcast, the podcast where we listen to and review songs and albums from the classic vinyl era of the 60s and 70s. I am one of your hosts, Justin, and I'm, of course, joined by my other host, Tyler. Once again, we are here in the basement studio to do a little Steelers Will, and I think I would call Steelers Will definitely a one-hit wonder.
I've never heard their name before.
So you know the song, right?
Very well, I know the song. I had no idea what the band was that sang the song, though.
Interesting. And they really are a one-hit wonder. They had a couple other songs they released, but I don't think anybody can name them really, unless you were a serious fan. Of course, you can't even name their famous one.
I can't even name any of their songs because I don't know who Steelers Wheel is.
Well, Steelers Will is the one that sang this song. So let me give you a little history on Steelers Will, the band. They're a Scottish rock band. They were formed in Scotland by Gerry Rafferty and Joe Egan back in 1972. Now, Rafferty and Egan were former school friends, I guess childhood school friends. They were joined by Roger Brown on guitar, Rab Noakes on guitar, and Ian Campbell on bass. Of course, once they did sign their record contract, Noakes and Campbell were replaced by Paul Pilnick on guitar, Tony Williams on bass, and Rod Coombs on drums. Gerry Rafferty actually left the group shortly before their first album came out, but after the success of this song, Stuck in the Middle with You, he was actually persuaded by the rest of the band to come back.
That gravy train was underway.
Exactly. And when Rafferty came back, Coombs, Pilnick, and Harper all left the band, leaving Rafferty and Egan performing with backing musicians on tour.
So Rafferty had, extreme flatulence or something.
Something was going on. I'm not sure what happened exactly there. But in 1975, after 3 studio albums, the group actually broke up or disbanded, mainly because of disagreements, and they had quite severe managerial problems as well. So Gerry Rafferty is probably the most famous one out of this band. He sings a couple songs you might have heard, Baker Street and Right Down the Line. I know you know them. You probably don't know him by his name, or do you?
No, I don't know him by his name, but Baker Street, I've probably heard. Right Down the Line, I have.
Yeah, you know both the songs. I'm pretty sure of it. Gerry Rafferty actually passed away in January of 2011 of liver failure, and Joe Egan passed away in July of 2024. Now, with Steelers Will, as far as they're concerned, albums, they released a total of 3 studio albums is all, along with 3 compilation albums. Their debut self-titled album was really the only album that did anything. It actually charted at number 50 in the U.S. and number 25 in Canada, did not chart in the U.K. The rest of their albums did not chart in the top 100 at least. So as far as singles are concerned, they released a total of 5 singles is all, with 2 of them reaching the top 40 in the U.S. Of course, the song we're doing today, Stuck in the Middle with You, is their top charting at number 6. In the U.K., they had 3 songs in the top 40, with this song hitting number 8 being their top charting. And in Canada, they only had 1 song hit the top 40, which is the same song. It hit number 16 in Canada. So fairly successful, but a one-hit wonder nonetheless.
I think what I'm most blown away about so far is the fact that these guys are Scottish.
Really?
They don't sound Scottish at all.
Now, do you expect them to be line dancing in kilts or something?
No, that's Irish, but I just am expecting to hear a little bit of the brogue, and I don't hear it at all. I mean, British people, you don't really hear so much of an accent when they sing. Maybe the Beatles a little bit, but like Rolling
that's
Stones.
The funny. I don't hear it in the Beatles at all. If you listen to some of the newer bands like Oasis, when I say newer, I mean they've been around for 30 plus years, but newer than the Beatles, I guess, and newer than most of the topics we cover here. But I can hear a little British in their voices, and there are certain artists that you can hear that are from Britain, but I don't hear it with the Beatles.
But like I've heard other Scottish bands sing, and their brogue is so thick.
Really?
And these guys, you don't get a lick of the brogue in it.
So with Steelers Will, all in all, even though they didn't have a ton of success, they didn't release a ton of albums, a ton of singles, but they did sell about 7 million albums worldwide, all in all, which isn't too many. I mean, we generally cover pretty big bands on here, but this definitely is a one-hit wonder, and Is it cool to go sleep on the floor?
Seems like it if you don't think you can make it downstairs.
Exactly. So you say you've heard this song, obviously, a ton. What is your history with Stuck in the Middle with You?
I'd say most of my experience with this comes from working with you, hearing it in your office, but also over the radio out front in the showroom area because we played classic rock.
Yeah, because I wanted classic rock played there all the time.
Yeah, and so I've heard this song a lot. I like this song. I've certainly enjoyed it. It's kind of right down my alley, and I'll get into that when we review it.
Well, should we get to the song review?
Yeah, let's do it.
And now it's time for the song review.
So, of course, today, live from the basement studio, we're doing Steelers Wheel and Stuck in the Middle with You. Let me give you a little history on the song itself. So the song was originally released on the band's self-titled debut album that was released on November 17th of 1972. This song was actually later released as a single, but it wasn't until April 27th of 1973, so about 5 months later. Their debut album actually charted at number 50 in the US, number 25 in Canada, and did not chart in the UK. Now, this album, and of course this song, was recorded at Apple Studios in London, England, and produced by Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller. Now, Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller are pretty popular. They're an American songwriting and record-producing duo. They've written a lot of songs that you know, a lot of Elvis Presley songs, too. So, Hound Dog, Kansas City, which is a popular song the Beatles redid, Searchin', Yakety Yak, Charlie Brown, Jailhouse Rock. There is a complete list of songs that they've written. They've actually wrote or co-wrote over 70 chart hits in their career, and they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame themselves as songwriters in 1987.
Those guys belong in there.
Yeah, Lieber and Stoller, I think, and they've produced a lot of bands as well, obviously. So, yeah, they're pretty well known. So this song, Stuck in the Middle with You, is written by Jerry Rafferty. And, of course, he's the one that I was telling you had released Baker Street and Right Down the Line. But both him and Joe Egan wrote this together. Now, the band, as this was recorded, was Jerry Rafferty on lead vocals and guitars, Joe Egan on keyboards, guitars. He did some lead vocals as well on this album, but he's just backing on this one. Paul Pilnick on lead and rhythm guitar, Tony Williams on bass, and Rod Coombs on drums. And I guess they wouldn't stay here very long because they were replaced by those studio musicians, or touring musicians, I should say. Also on this song, one thing that's very prominent in it is the lap steel guitar, and you've got Luther Grosvenor playing that on this song. So this single peaked at number 6 on the U.S. Billboard charts, number 2 in Canada, and number 8 in the U.K. So the song did pretty well for these guys. The single itself has sold over 3 million copies worldwide, and it is certified platinum in the U.S. by the RIAA, and it's certified 2 times platinum in the U.K. So when we get into a little history about the song, according to Jerry Rafferty, was written as basically to parody Bob Dylan's. I guess he was going through some paranoia at the time. I guess it was really well known publicly.
Well, marijuana will do that to you.
Yeah, it will. And the song's success actually surprised both of the writers, as they basically wrote it as a joke and almost didn't even make it onto the album, but this had success right away. And so I think it really surprised them. When you really get into listening to the lyrics and deciphering what they mean, I mean, it's basically ridiculing a music industry cocktail party. That's where you get into clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle with you. It can really be applied to any large gathering where you simply do not fill a place.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be your first high school party or a party that's just a little more fancy than you really feel like you belong at.
Yeah, that social anxiety sets in and you just feel alone in a crowded room.
Yeah, you might not be feeling too well. That could be because you actually are ill, or you just, like we said, you don't fit in, and so you're not feeling well. You could be drunk, you could be drugged up. I mean, who knows what's going on, right? Yeah. But you're not feeling well, you're not feeling in place. And this song pretty much evokes all that if you really dig into the lyrics.
Sure does.
So this song has been in quite a few movies, TV shows, commercials. Most famously, Quentin Tarantino's 1992 film, Reservoir Dogs. It really kind of brought this song some newfound popularity and brought it to a newer generation.
This is the song that he plays when he cuts the guy's ear off, isn't
exactly.
It? Yeah, it's gruesome.
Yeah, so after listening to Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You, we did listen to it 3 times in a row. But what are your thoughts on this? If your honest expert opinion.
I'm getting to be an expert on these things, so let me give you that honest expert opinion.
You're an expert on your opinion.
Yeah.
Isn't everyone an expert on their own opinion?
I couldn't even say that I was always an expert on my opinion. And let me tell you, Justin, this song is throwing me for a loop as being an expert on my opinion.
Let's hear it.
Because I don't want to like this song as much as I do.
Why is that?
So this song, like, it wasn't really my dig. Listening to it to critique it and, break it down, it starts off with just kind of a simple strumming guitar. And then by the time the bass picks up and the vocals join in, then you get these claps and stuff. And it just like, it takes you off on a ride. And I'm on board. I can't tell you why, but it's like, okay, you got this carousel that's spinning right in front of me. And as soon as the music starts playing, I just can't help but grab hold of the nearest like bar that's passing, step up onto the platform, and I'm right along with it.
Okay.
That's the visual that I'm getting.
It is a fun song.
It is.
And it's a fun song to sing along to. It really is.
Especially that bass line. And the lyrics are great. I don't know why I came here tonight. Got the feeling that something ain't right. And these emotions are very common emotions for people to have, especially in the 70s. You've got paranoia from, drug use or bad drugs, or even just kind of that self-awareness. You're not necessarily sure if you're in the crowd of your people, but like these recording cocktail parties, these record studio parties, it's easy to feel like you're out of place, that you don't fit in, because a lot of these people are really pretentious and real, not your kind of people. And so if you're at all down to earth, you're not going to feel a place like that. And you're going to see that these things, yeah, there are clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you.
I wonder who he's actually stuck in the middle with. Is he saying that to the person he's singing the song to, or is there an actual person he's at the party with?
I wonder if it's if he's singing it to what was the other guy in the band, Joe. I wonder if he's singing it to Joe Egan.
Maybe those two attended some kind of industry party and they're just laughing at what a joke it is and how uncomfortable they are. And here we are kind of in our own little world and everybody else is not down to earth as we are.
No, they're playing the game, right? They're rubbing the shoulders or making the connections or the Networking, that's what it is. They're networking. So maybe they're just networking.
They could be.
But
do you think that was a word back in the 70s? Because I don't feel like it was.
I don't know that it became a word until like the internet came along.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's more of an internet age type of term.
Yeah, because it's about making connections and forming alliances and stuff, right? I love this song. And I shouldn't. I don't even want to love this song, but I just can't help myself. It's kind of a crazy song, and everybody that's listened to this podcast know I like the crazy songs. I like the weird ones, but it's a good song. This bass line gets me going every time. It is just feels like you're starting out on a fun ride, like the wheels on the bicycle just start turning. So that's where I stand with this one. What are your thoughts about this one, Justin?
Well, like you usually do, you stole my line because that's one thing I was going to say sticks out to me more than anything on this is the bass line. And especially, I don't notice it as much if I hear it in the car or whatever, but hearing it here on our good system and stuff, the bass is the most powerful thing in this whole song. It's definitely, when you go back to 1972, that's a pretty powerful bass line. It really is. And it's mixed very, very thick. It's got the acoustic intro and the acoustic throughout. I really do enjoy the steel lap guitar through this thing. It has some good little licks and things all throughout. The guitar is good on the whole song. I do like Rafferty's vocal. He's got a really smooth voice. And this is a song, I wouldn't say I'm in love with it like maybe you say you are, because it is a little bit goofy, but it's a fun song to sing along to, and it's always been a song I enjoy. This is one, whenever it comes on the radio, I don't skip it. I've always enjoyed this song. Another one that we got to do one day is Sugarloaf's Green-Eyed Lady. I really like that song too. Another kind of one-hit wonder, maybe two-hit wonder with Sugarloaf, but that's another good song we'd like to get to. We had somebody suggest that one as well. So yeah, I really enjoy this song pretty much thoroughly, but I don't think I'm in love with it like you are, but I guess we'll find out when we get to the ratings.
Well, it's the little things. I got to point this out too, that there's a cowbell in there.
Yes, there is, and there's a lot of clapping.
There's a ton of clapping, and when we do the rating, that's going to factor in.
Well, and I think one thing about this song is for 1972, it seems mixed really well with the bass being as heavy as it is. And it just sounds, I don't know how to explain it, but they did a very good job producing it. So do you want to get to the song review?
I'm eager.
Song rating.
Okay, listener, if this is your first episode, I'll briefly explain our rating scale. It's 0 to 10, 10 being the best. I put this one at a 7.5. And I really struggled on my rating on this. I didn't want to rate it as high as I did. I didn't want to like this song as much as I liked it. But I had to give it that extra 0.5. I gave it the 7 just because it's a goofy song, it's a weird song, and I like it, and it captures me. I gave it an extra 0.5 because of the clapping and the extremely awesome use of cowbell. So I've never seen a song that used clapping like this so well, because it goes throughout the entire song and it is perfect. We did Tambourine Man a while ago, and hearing a guy play the tambourine really well for the first time in my life just turned me around, and that bumped that rating too. I can't remember. Yeah, it was the song Tambourine Man. I do remember. The claps are turning this one up by 0.5. That's where I'm at. Where do you put this one, Justin?
Well, I was pretty surprised because when you said you loved it, I thought you would be a higher rating than that. But funny enough, look at my paper, 7.5. We're right on the dot on this one. This is a song I've always liked. I enjoy it. Like I said, when it comes on the radio, I don't change it ever. But it was kind of a nice change to listen to it on a good system and really hear how thick that bass is. It's a good song. You never know what this band could have done. I have never explored their albums, and maybe I should. I've always liked Jerry Rafferty's solo stuff, so maybe some of this is good because it does have a little more rock and roll to it than what Rafferty's later stuff does that he did solo. But good song. I rated a 7.5. I would say most people have heard it, but if you haven't, go check it out.
I'd be really curious to see if they could sing this with a Scottish accent.
Well, we could put in a request, but they're all dead.
Yeah, too late.
So that's Steelers Wheel, stuck in the middle with you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or want to tell us what you would rate this song, send them to us at classicvinylpodcast@gmail.com. You can also send any song or album review requests you have there. Like always, we really appreciate you taking your time to listen to us. It means a lot to us. So until next time, we'll see you.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to Classic Vinyl Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram at Classic Vinyl Podcast for updates, and also share us with your music-loving friends.